The gloves are about to come off. It is time to drop your buffs. Drop, come on in. Drop your buffs. You are correct. Yeah. Bring it in. Switch it. You are correct. You drop.
Sorry, Annalise.
Survivors ready? Drop your buffs.
Welcome back to Drop Your Buffs. I'm Sean Ross, and we have yet another exit interview for Survivor Australia versus the World. This time it is with the fourth place finisher, and that is, of course, the incomparable Cirie Fields. Now, I was unavailable to do this one, so I handed it off to Evan. So this is very exciting because, of course, I've already talked to Cirie out there in Samoa. You can catch my interview with her and, of course, Nick and Ricard over on Channel 10. But this is Evan's first time talking to Cirie on a hot mic. So I know that everybody's going to be very excited to hear that. So without further ado, here is Evan's conversation with Cirie.
Well, Cirie, it's an honor to spend this 15 minutes with you. And I want to congratulate you on a historic run on a historic season of Survivor.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Now, you were really a challenge beast this season, and a lot of us took notice. Okay, you outlasted all of the men and all of the Aussie tribe during one challenge and consistently showed yourself to be a formidable challenge threat. And so I'm wondering, did you come into this season with that intention?
You know what? I just wanted to kind of quiet up some of the naysayers, right? Because I've never proclaimed myself to be a challenge beast. I don't like working out and none of that. But I also knew that I was not giving my all in some of these challenges. And I wanted people to see that I can be a formidable opponent if I apply myself. And am I ever going to beat Parvati at a physical torture chamber challenge? Probably not. But I just wanted them to see that if I may not be able to beat her, but I can beat some of y'all.
Yeah. It was particularly satisfying watching you beat all of the men.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. So having played the American version of the show 5 times now, and the Australian version once, how would you say that the challenges themselves compare between the different shows? Because it seems from the audience perspective, like the Australian challenges are really physically demanding.
I think they are. I think the Australian challenges are similar to the US challenges with a little extra grit on them. I feel like it almost felt like the Australian challenges in Survivor wanted to prove themselves worthy of being a Survivor challenge and to show how tough Australians are. And I mean, like, some of the challenges, especially like the one where you have to keep getting the ball and you have to run up the stairs. I've seen that challenge before, but then they throw in the little stair aspect, right?
Yep.
And they just make it a little bit harder, it seemed to me.
Yeah. As though it wasn't already hard enough.
Exactly, especially for a girl like me who likes to be comfortable.
So I'd love to get your reaction when you first arrive on the beach and you see Parvati out there. You guys have obviously played the game 2 times before, but really we only got to see you play the game 1 time before. And it was great to see your past experience kind of play a part of the plot of this season, bringing that back. But yeah, what was your initial reaction between, seeing your former ally?
Oh my God. When I saw Parvati, I was like, Hercules. I love Parvati. And what better thing to have than a friendly, familiar face in amongst a bunch of unfriendly, unfamiliar faces, right? So I was thrilled to see Parvati. It felt like a piece of home. And I know from my previous experiences with Parvati that Parvati is someone that I could trust.
So when you two first decided to lock and load, full steam ahead, Black Widow Brigade 2.0, was there ever any part of you that wondered whether or not she was all in, or even for yourself, whether or not you were truly all in, or was it locked and loaded and that was going to be how it was until the end?
Nah, it was locked and loaded. Like, we even, like, the moment we talked, we're like, okay, I ain't gonna talk to you no more. You ain't gonna talk to me no more, but you don't have to. You already know what time it is. And from that moment, we were locked in, and I had no question about Parvati's loyalty, and I doubt if she had any about mine.
So strategy wise, what we saw on the show is that you two were pretty explicit with everyone about the fact that you were working together. But what was your strategy around? Obviously, there were conversations I'm sure you had, some of which aired, about people entertaining the idea of taking Parvati out. And I imagine you kind of had to, maybe in some instances, say, okay, if push comes to shove, maybe, maybe. How did you sort of navigate wanting to maintain that loyalty with Parvati while also having some flexibility with other players?
Well, obviously, you have to have conversations, right? You have to have conversations with everybody there. And if someone when they brought up Parvati's name, they're eagle-eyeing me, looking for any sign that I was uncomfortable or would not be with it. So in Cirie fashion, I had to be like, oh, of course. Even when Rob was like, well, would you guys vote out Parvati? Absolutely. If anybody but me. However, would I have? Absolutely not. And knowing Parvati, who always keeps a little something in her survivor purse, right? All I have to do is let my girl know, look, they're coming for you. You are the target. They're talking about you. And that was my plan.
Mm. Now, we heard from Parvati in the finale about how she felt about wanting to rewrite the story of you and her at the end of the game, referencing Micronesia, saying that you should have been there in the final three. Sri, I've never heard you speak about this, but did you have any sort of feelings or bitterness around them suddenly making a rule change on Micronesia and not having a final three when I think, like many, we were just expecting it to be the status quo?
Bitter, but I was definitely heartbroken. I went into Micronesia with a plan. Just make it to final three, just make it to final three, just make it to final three. So when I made it to final three, it's almost like I exhaled and then they let all the wind out of my sails by saying, no, it's a final two.
Mm.
So was I severely disappointed? Sad even? Absolutely. But bitter? Nah, because it's Survivor, right? It's a game, and I understood. I knew they had to do something to um, to make a correction for all of the injuries that happened, right? I know that there's a schedule, and I knew because of the people that left, maybe that messed up the schedule. Did I like it? Absolutely not. Was I devastated? Absolutely. But I wasn't really bitter about it. And
Mm.
do I think I should have and maybe would have won? Hmm.
I think quite a few people would agree with you on that one. Now, hundreds of people have been on Survivor, hundreds of people have had their porch snuff, but here we are, it's 2025, and we're having a conversation about game moves that happened 15 years ago. Did you ever expect? I know it's probably unexpected that you were going to play the game again in 2025, twice even. But I'm wondering, did you ever expect that like these minor moments from your life 15 years ago would be back in people's minds and being hashed out again all this time later?
Oh, absolutely not. When I tried out for Survivor in 2005, all I knew is I was trying out for a show that I loved. The only expectation I had was hopefully I got a chance to play, win, lose, or draw, then go back home and be the nurse that I am. I had zero expectations. So all of this and everything that came after is just mind blowing, even to me. Like, because I'm a fan of the show. I started as a fan of the show. I watched the show. I'm like, damn, I want to play this show. And I just was blessed to have the opportunity to do it, and then it just snowballed from there. So zero. There's no way I could have anticipated 2025. We're talking about Micronesia or playing again with Parvati in Australian Survivor. None of those blessings were in my purview. I'm just grateful for all of them,
Right.
though.
So as we saw on Big Brother with Izzy and on Lisa this season, and maybe we'll see it on Survivor 50, fans of this show come into the game with a level of reverence for you. Do you ever
Mhm.
find that that makes it difficult to create a genuine connection when people are sort of coming in with this knowledge of you and maybe putting you on some kind of pedestal when you're trying to sort of create an even connection between you both?
No, you know what? I don't know. For some reason, I appreciate people coming in with like, wow, I'm a fan of yours. But what happens is I don't know, the normal connective energy that you have with people you jive with, right? Like with me and Izzy on Big Brother, I jive with Izzy. I jive with Izzy now. I talked to Izzy yesterday. And I think whether you were or are a fan of mine and we encounter each other in a game, if that energy ain't right and that jive connection ain't there, the jive for the connection ain't there, it's not going to be there. Everything that happens, the way me and Lisa kind of connected is authentic, and I can't make it up. And I guess I could probably fake it, but in these games, especially at this level of game, people would know, like, you really don't like me. You just acting like you like me. So no, it does not impede our ability to make a strong, genuine connection. I've done it with Izzy, I've done it with Lisa. And maybe, maybe I did it on 50. We'll have
Yeah,
to
we'll
see.
find out. Now, you lasted 93 days in the Big Brother house, which is just absolutely crazy. So when you got
Yeah.
the call to go and do Australian Survivor, fly all the way over to Australia, play this game for the fifth time at that point, was there any reticence, or were you kind of just like, you know what? This is what I do. I go and play these games and I make iconic television.
No, I wasn't thinking that. I was more thinking like, wow, I got asked to come and play the Olympics of Survivor. Little old me, this girl from Jersey who had should not even been out there from the beginning. I had zero survival skills, and now here I am 20 years later, and they're asking me to play to represent America on the World Tribe versus Australia. Not even a question in my mind. It's like, okay, when do I leave?
Did you have any reticence about, because on shows like The Traitors and Big Brother, you have some of your creature comforts. As you know well with this show, that is not the case. Was there any part of you that's like, I don't know if I want to give up all the things that I need?
Nah, you know why? Because all of those things mean nothing once you get out there. That the island becomes your reality, right?
Right.
So I used to think uh the biggest thing I would miss would be like toothpaste and toothbrush. It still might be. However, I don't think about that on a daily basis. I'm thinking about, what are we going to eat? Am I going to be able to do the challenge? Are they going to vote me out? Are my allies lying to me? That becomes your world. You are so engulfed in playing the game that the creature comforts don't really matter anymore. I
Mm.
was talking to Parvati, like, how can we just come here and just lay on the ground? Like, it snaps right back in. Like, we laid on the ground in that shelter like it was a California king and never skipped a beat. It never even, like, like, some days in, you feel a little cruddy and you need to jump in the water because you feel dirty. But the creature comforts go away so fast. Those are the least of your concerns.
Right. Like out of mind, out of sight.
Yeah.
Now, tell me, why could no one spell your name correctly at Tribal Council?
Now, all my life, people could not either spell it or say it. So I'm not bothered by that. Even today, people still mispronounce my name. As long as they spell it right on the check, I don't mind.
Fair enough. It's just funny though, because as you said, this is the Olympics of Survivor. These fellow Olympians recognize a fellow Olympian. So you would think, even if they didn't know how to spell your name, they would think knowing who you are, they would then know how to spell your name.
I kind of like the idea that they don't know. I don't want you to know how to spell my name. And if somebody would have asked, I'd have been like, why?
Fair enough. When we spoke to Parvati, she mentioned a storyline that didn't make it into the show about the cookies with her and Luke and everything. And so I was wondering, were there any things that you did on the island that didn't make it into the final edit that you were like, gosh, I wish they would have showed that?
Oh boy. Hmm. Not really. I think y'all seen all the pertinent. No, I think you saw what you needed to see.
Fair
Yeah,
enough.
no.
Was there anyone that you were closer to on the island than it was depicted on the show?
I thought me, Cass, Lisa had a nice tight alliance. I really enjoyed Cass. You know what? This is one season that I really enjoyed everyone. There's seasons that I go home and be like, you know what? If I never see so and so again, I'll be okay. Felt like that. I felt like I don't know. It was a really good time. It was a good time, even though we had to vote people off. The people we had to vote off, it wasn't like, oh, I'm so glad they're going. It was more like, damn, sorry you gotta go, but you gotta go, right?
Uh-huh.
So yeah, I thought Cass and I were tight. I thought me and Lisa were tighter than they showed because I really, really connected. I was really grateful. I actually spoke to Lisa via text yesterday and this morning, and I was telling her like, damn, you don't understand how much I appreciate you being there because Parvati is a bit of home, right? But Parvati is one person, and then to run into or to create a new friendship and a new ally, someone that I really, because I truly trusted Lisa practically as much as I trusted Parvati, and that's very hard to come by. I don't know if that was depicted as well as it should have been.
Mm. So people are calling this an all-time great Cirie season of Survivor. And so I'm wondering, excluding
Wow.
50 from this, how would you rank the Cirie seasons of Survivor from worst to best?
Well, obviously, worse is heroes versus villains because I was out early. Um, oh wow. Oh wow. Well, I'm gonna rate the ones that we've seen already, right?
Yes. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, I think, wow, that's kind of hard. I think, okay, so heroes versus villains would be worst. I think Exile Island and Australia might be tied for best because Exile Island for me is always my favorite because everything was so new. I was so out of my element, and for me to walk in the door, um, being afraid of leaves, afraid of everything, almost drowning on the first challenge, and make it to the final four. Um, I think that in this Australian season may be tied for best, and then Micronesia obviously would be in the middle.
And then game changers between
Oh, I
Micronesia.
forgot about correct. And then game changers. Ooh, game changers would be so it would be four heroes versus villains, three game changers, two Micronesia, and one Australia and Exile Island.
Okay, I like that. Okay,
Tied.
yeah. Okay, last but not least, we can look forward to you coming up on Survivor 50 next year. But beyond that, for those of us who just love seeing you on our screens, have you given
Aw.
any thought to what you might do next? Might there be a next chapter in the reality competition space for you?
Ooh, your girl's getting old.
She doesn't look it.
Oh, thank you. I turned 55 this July, and obviously I'm open to all opportunities, and I am uh what do you call that when you like roller coasters, adrenaline junkie.
Uh-huh.
So I can sit here and say no, Evan, I'm probably done with reality TV, but you never say never, and I will never say never. And it all depends on what the game is, right? Because just like I went out to play the traders, I didn't really know what the game was, but look how it turned out. So I am definitely open. I hope that 50 will not be the last time I grace you guys' television
Mm.
screens.
Okay, what a lovely note to end on. I hope that is the case as well. Cirie, thank you so much, and congratulations for another incredible run on this incredible season.
Oh, thank you so much, Evan. Thank you. It's been a joy talking with
All
you.
right, thank you so much.